we've all had that feeling, right? That moment where you realize that just working hard isn't enough.
Oh, absolutely.
You can put in all the hours, you can grind, and you still find yourself sort of stuck at good.
That plateau.
Exactly. You're competent, things are stable, but you are just nowhere near the high impact, true greatness. So if you've ever felt that tension between your effort and your actual results, this deep dive is for you.
Well, and that tension exists for a reason. Success isn't just about maximizing your effort. It's really about optimizing your strategy.
Okay.
And our source material this week, it gives us a real practical architecture for greatness. So our mission here is to unpack some hard truths about how our natural talents shape our opportunities.
And then get into the key to sustained motivation for when that initial excitement, inevitably fades.
Right. And finally, detail the systems you need to maintain excellence once you've actually built up that consistency.
Okay, so we have to start with a concept that I think makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but the sources are really clear on this. It's foundational.
Genetics.
Yeah. We love the story that success is all about grit, but you just can't avoid that tension between nature and nurture.
You can't. And the core idea here isn't that genes eliminate the need for hard work. That's not it at all.
Right. It's not an excuse.
Exactly. They do something much more crucial. They clarify what you should be working hard on. They're a fixed variable that can give you a huge advantage in the right situation.
Or a huge disadvantage in the wrong one.
Precisely.
So let's make this real. The sources use this incredible analogy comparing two all-time greats. The swimmer, Michael Phelps, who is 6'4", and the runner, Hicham El Guerrouj, who is 5'9".
A massive 7-inch height difference.
It's a huge difference.
And yet, and this is the part that is just genuinely mind-blowing, despite that difference, Phelps and El Guerrouj wear the exact same length of pants.
Wait, what? The same inseam.
The exact same inseam.
How is that even possible?
It's all about biological optimization for their sport. Phelps has these relatively short legs for his height, but a really long torso and arms.
The perfect build for pulling through water.
The perfect build. And El Guerrouj is the opposite. He has incredibly long legs and a short upper body, which is just the ideal frame for running. It's maximum efficiency.
And the counterfactual just proves the whole point. If you made them switch sports, they would fail. Instantly.
Oh, completely. Phelps, at his peak, weighed about 194 pounds. El Guerrouj was 138.
So Phelps is carrying 40% more weight? That's a death sentence in distance running.
He could be doomed from the start. Success is about choosing the right field of competition, the one that aligns with your natural gifts.
Okay, that's a powerful point, but let's be honest, it's also a little brutal. I mean, if it's all context dependent, what hope does that leave for the rest of us who don't have Phelps's wingspan?
No, it's not about giving up. It's about finding the context that favors you. And this isn't just about your body. It's also deeply tied to your personality. The sources are clear that our genes, they just sort of nudge our behavior, influencing how we respond to everything.
Which brings us to the big 5 personality traits. This is, the most scientifically proven model we have. Openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism.
And the biological roots for these are just fascinating. Like, agreeableness is linked to higher natural levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
And what about something like neuroticism?
That's linked to a hypersensitive amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. Basically, some people are just wired to spot problems first.
So our personality is kind of like a genetic compass, pointing us toward environments where we'll feel more natural, more comfortable.
Right, where our habits will feel more satisfying to perform.
But how do you actually find that direction? I mean, life's too short to try everything.
Well, this is where you have to be strategic. The sources call it the explore-exploit trade-off.
Okay, break that down.
At first, you have to explore. You take different jobs, you try different hobbies, you cast a really wide net to just gather data on what works for you.
And then once you find something that's working,
you shift. You exploit it. You put your resources into that winning strategy. The rule of thumb is, if you're winning, you exploit, exploit, exploit. If you're losing, you need to shift back to explore, explore, explore.
So what's the right balance in the long run?
The research suggests something like an 80-20 split. 80 to 90% of your time exploiting what works, but always reserving 10 to 20% for exploration. It keeps you from getting complacent.
But what if you feel like you have a mix of skills and none of them are really world-class on their own? You don't fit into an obvious category.
That is a golden opportunity. Because then you don't win by being better. You win by being different.
This is the Dilbert strategy, right?
Exactly. From the cartoonist Scott Adams. He said he wasn't the best artist, And he wasn't the funniest comedian.
But the combination of being a decent artist, a decent joke writer, and having a background in corporate life.
Yes, that combination created this incredibly rare, low-competition niche. Few people had that specific mix of skills.
You're basically creating a category of one.
You are. You make competition harder by being the best in a very, very small game. Think about it. A bodybuilder is incredibly strong, but they might lose an arm wrestling match to a specialist.
Because the specialist has that narrow, specific strength. Specialization is a defense.
It's the ultimate defense.
Okay, so once we've picked the right game, we face the next big hurdle, the endurance problem. How do you maintain effort for the long haul? And the story of Steve Martin here is just perfect.
It's such a dose of reality. He started doing stand-up as a teenager, performing to empty clubs week after week.
For almost 2 decades.
Yeah, his own timeline is amazing. He said it was 10 years spent learning, 4 years spent refining, and 4 years as a wild success. The path is long.
So what's the secret to staying on that path?
The secret is what the sources call the Goldilocks rule. You have to work on tasks of just manageable difficulty.
Not too hard, not too easy.
Exactly. Not so hard you get anxious and quit, and not so easy you get bored and drift away.
That makes a lot of sense. Is there a scientific way to quantify that sweet spot?
There is, actually. In psychology, it's called the Yerkes-Dodson law. And to get into that state of flow, that feeling of being in the zone, research suggests the task should be roughly 4% beyond your current ability.
4%, that's so specific.
It is. It's always pushing the edge just a little, but never so far that you lose your confidence.
Okay, but here's where it gets really counterintuitive for me. One of the elite coaches in the source material said the difference between the best athletes and everyone else wasn't talent. It was who could handle the sheer boredom of training every single day.
That is the ultimate paradox of building habits. As they become automatic, as they become effective, they stop being new and exciting.
They stop delighting us.
And then what do? We get successful, and subconsciously we start looking for novelty again.
Yeah.
We jump from diet to diet, or we try a new workout every month, and we just keep resetting our progress.
We're literally wired for novelty. I mean, that's why things like video games or social media are so addictive, right? They use variable rewards.
Exactly. They're optimized for like a 50-50 split between success and failure, which just floods your brain with dopamine.
But you don't want that for your core habits.
No, you want consistency. The real lesson here is that mastery requires you to fall in love with boredom. Professionals stick to the schedule, even when they don't feel like it. Amateurs let their mood decide their actions.
That's a huge distinction. So if a habit really matters, you have to be willing to do it in any mood.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to the third big phase. What's the danger we have to watch out for once a habit is locked in and automatic?
The danger is complacency, or maybe more accurately, it's decline. Your feedback sensitivity just goes down.
What do you mean by that?
Well, habits are the foundation, but they also mean we stop paying close attention to small errors. We just fall into this mindless repetition, thinking we're getting better just because we're showing up.
Well, we're not.
In reality, the research shows that once you've mastered a skill, performance can actually start to decline slightly over time if you're not paying conscious attention.
So the formula can't just be blind repetition. It has to be something more.
It is. The formula is habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery.
Okay.
Mastery is this endless cycle. You master one tiny element until it's automatic, which frees up your mental energy, and then you focus that energy on the next level of challenge.
Yeah.
But you need a system for that.
A formal conscious system. And this is where we get to the 1986 Los Angeles Lakers and Pat Riley's CBE program.
Career best effort, yes. After they underperformed in the '86 playoffs, Riley knew their biggest enemy wasn't talent, it was inconsistency. So he demanded a system.
And they started by taking their number, which meant tracking a player's stats all the way back to high school to get a baseline.
A historical baseline.
Right.
Then came the big ask. Every single player had to improve their output by at least 1% over the season.
Just 1%?
Just 1%. But here's the nuance that makes it a true mastery system. CBE wasn't just points and rebounds. It included unsung hero deeds.
Like diving for a loose ball or taking a charge, the stuff that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet.
Exactly. They calculated this personalized number. positive stats minus turnovers divided by minutes played. It was about accountability to your own potential, not just beating the other team.
So it wasn't about comparing Magic Johnson to Larry Bird. It was about comparing Magic Johnson to last season's Magic Johnson.
You've got it. It forced them out of that comfortable rut of habit and into conscious improvement.
And the result.
They won back-to-back NBA championships right after implementing it.
It's just a stunning example, and this kind of reflection and review, it's the antidote to that complacency we were talking about.
It really is. Top performers everywhere do this. The marathoner Eliud Kipchoge takes notes after every single practice. The swimmer Katie Ledecky logs her wellness on a 1 to 10 scale every day to compare against her times. So for anyone listening, the sources suggest you can structure this yourself. You can do an annual review, what went well, what didn't, what did I learn?
And an integrity report, revisiting your core values and holding yourself to a higher standard. It's all about making conscious course corrections instead of just drifting along.
Which leads to the final step, and this one is a bit more philosophical. It's about maintaining a flexible identity.
Yes, the very beliefs that help you start a habit like, I am a runner, can eventually hold you back. They become brittle.
What happens if you get injured? Then who are you? Your identity shatters.
Right. So the investor Paul Graham has this great advice. Keep your identity small. You do that by redefining yourself based on principles, not roles.
So instead of I'm an athlete,
It becomes, I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge.
or instead of I'm the CEO.
It's, I'm the type of person who builds and creates things. This principle-based identity, it lets you adapt when circumstances change. It stops pride from blinding you.
I love that distinction. It really does sound like the final test of mastery is humility. Being willing to let go of the very identity that got you to where you are.
It reminds me of that quote from Lao Tzu. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail.
A perfect way to put it. This has been an incredibly practical deep dive. I think we can boil it down to 3 critical steps.
Step 1, pick the right game. You have to align your habits with your natural skills and personality to give yourself the best chance.
Step 2, hit the Goldilocks zone. Keep yourself motivated by working on tasks that are about 4% beyond your current ability, and learn to love the boredom of practice.
And step 3, avoid complacency. You have to build a formal system of reflection and review, like the Lakers CBE program, to make sure you're always consciously improving.
The sources are so clear on this. A lack of self-awareness is poison, and reflection and review is the only antidote. So for your next step, we're going to challenge you to start your own CBE program this week. Just identify the one core task that's essential to your biggest goal. Figure out its baseline number, whatever metric you can track, and commit to improving it by just 1% over the next month. Focus on that specific measurement, not just trying hard, because that focus, that's the real difference between a good habit and true mastery.